Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I'm so sorry I lost my glasses. Otherwise, you would have all been a blur. All righty. I am so excited. There are so many wonderful people here today. I love when I have to interrupt your chit chatter. I think that's just amazing. It means a lot to me. Anyway, let's get started with the pledge. Sonia, can you please lead us in the pledge? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, songsters, come on down. Yes.
Ready? We didn't rehearse.
You didn't. I can hum a few bars.
We need some additional singers.
We
need some singers up here. Okay. All right, you got that? Oh no, I'm gonna have to wing it. Okay, well, obviously Tim is not with us today. We don't know where he is. If anyone sees Tim, closer to the microphone, a lower key. Okay, you guys ready for this? You only have to learn that one line, stand by me. You can do that. And we're doing that because of we're talking about an outreach program. And of course, when you're outreaching, you want to have somebody stand next to you, right? Okay. I just made that up. Can you? Okay, we're going to do intro. 1, 2, 3. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. In the sky we look upon, to tumble and fall. O'er the mountain to crumble to the sea. I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand out. Stand by me. Stand by me. One more time. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Okay. Oh, that was great. I like the bum, bum, bum. That was wonderful. I know he should drink before the meeting every time. All righty. If I would like to please invite up our thought for the day person, Kelly Bowers.
So for the thought for the day, I was actually thinking about kind of a preface for our guest speaker, because we all know that there are banks, and most people associate banks with money and investment and funds, and that's certainly their business. But one thing that's really amazing and a great model, and why it's a great fit with Rotary today, is Fremont Bank's sense of community building. And so I wanted to just share these quotes, which are not mine, but I wanted to just think about this. Investing in people close to you strengthens community. You can never go wrong by investing in communities and the human beings within them. Investing is not about making money. Well, for some people it is, but it's not about making money. It's about aligning your investments with your values and making a positive impact on the world. And so I just wanted to have us all think about that and think about there's so many things we can invest in, and we don't always get a return on our money. But just as when I was a superintendent, I knew if we invested in children and their future, places like Pedrosi do that too, that's going to be the major return. And now in my new role, I'm especially seeing how when people invest in the nonprofits in our community, that we are making something better for everyone, and the return is immeasurable. So I just want to leave you with those thoughts. When we're giving donations to all the great causes that Rotary supports, think of it as a true investment in the human resource, which is our most precious one. Thank you.
Kelly, that's amazing. So true. So well said. Okay, today our front line. I think Matt Fuzzi must have got called away on an emergency. So our very own Kathy Coyle has stepped up. Thank you so much, my dear, to be our Spur reporter. Spur publisher and meeting photographer, Don Wentz. The audiovisual, Paul McCandless. Our Zoom host and chat monitor, Pat Coyle. And our greeter, Debbie Peck. Let's give them all a big hand. So in addition to that, you know, there's a lot of people that make this group run and run smoothly. So I would be remiss in not mentioning our web mistress, which is also Kathy Coyle. I mean, if you don't like that, we can always change it. You know, I just think it's just kind of cute. People. There you go. And our outreach coordinator is Kelly Bowers. Don't forget, you got those great stories and those touching things that happen in our community that Rotary has touched and is making a difference. Please be sure to share with her. And also our traveling mics today, Joel Swanson and David Rounds. And last but not least, our Sergeant at Arms. Today we have both Bob and Trex taking care of it. Let's give all those people a great round. And today, hey, how are we doing for money there, gentlemen? Lots. I like that. $1,704. Don't forget to get your tickets. It just takes one. It just takes one. Okay. Let's introduce visiting Rotarians and guests in Zoom land. Mr. Coyle, is there anyone out there?
President Sheila, we have no guests or no visiting Rotarians, either one, just us.
Just us chickens. Okay. All right. How about here in the room, visiting Rotarians? Do we have any visiting Rotarians? Oh, okay. Well, then let's move right along to guests of Rotarians. Okay. Oh, we've got them all over. We've got a couple mics out there.
Rotarians, I'd like you to meet for the third time David and Trudy Barnes. And the rumor is next week they will no longer be visiting Rotarians. They will be Rotarians.
Presidents Sheila and fellow Rotarians, I would like to welcome and introduce my guest, Cherie Mariani. Marini, I knew I was going to get that wrong, with ABC NorCal, Associated Builders and Contractors. And many of you may know that the Pedrosi Foundation partners with ABC NorCal to award tool scholarships for apprentices in the building trades. So please help me in welcoming Cherie to our meeting.
Woo-woo. You know, we'd love to learn more.
We're beyond excited. It is Stephen, Drew, and the particulars are going to come from Kelly, but I just want to tell you something. He is from France. Number two, he loves to ride his bike to go get lunch here in Livermore, where he's a resident. The important things are going to come from Kelly.
So Stephen Drew is a trustee for the Livermore Valley Joint Unified School District. He is also a professor at Stanislaus, and he's married to a teacher at one of our schools as well. And he's in the category of friend now. wants to be a Rotarian. So future Rotarian. Thank you.
Fantastic. Hello, welcome. Friend, French friend. I like that. Say that fast 3 times. Oop. Look at you popped up. The other one, not so much.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I'd like to introduce my beautiful daughter, Miss Stella, who is out of school today. She helps me out a lot around the shop, so I thought y'all should see her face. And I would also like to introduce my guest, Liz. She is recently out of corporate America. She's looking at buying into a franchise, but she told me that the thing that drives her, that she wants to find in her new path with life, is nonprofit and community work. So I said, boy, have I got the place you've got to visit.
You do. Woohoo. Welcome. Nice to see you. Any other visitors besides our speaker? No? Okay, fantastic. Let's move along. If we could please get we have birthdays and anniversaries. Okay. Already, you guys have to, warm up. All right, Debbie and Carol, if you could please come on up. And then after that, we have a quick little announcement at the back of the room.
Okay, this is for November birthdays and anniversaries. And it's a requirement that you take a piece of candy and eat it. And or more, just don't leave any candy behind. And Carol's going to be handing out some things. So when I call your name, if you could please just raise your hand so Carol can find you. Okay, you got 1 minute. Yeah, we're going to do birthdays first. Yeah, we're doing birthdays, Carol. Okay, November 2 is our first birthday, Kim Grudel. She's up here, Carol. She's up here. Yeah. Okay, stand up. Yeah, thank you. So the second one is not here, but it's Barbara Hickman. Her birthday's November 6th. She's not here, Barbara Hickman. And then Pat Coyle, you could probably give this to his wife, Kathy. His birthday's the 8th of November. Pat Coyle. Kelly Bowers, November 10th. Miguel Ferrucci, the 14th of November. And has a matching birthday with Brian Mayle, who I don't think is here also today. His is the 14th as well. Then we have John Lynn, who I don't think is here either. His birthday's the 17th. Oh, you're on Zoom? Happy birthday, John. Mike Frucci. And then Roland Ellingson is November 20th, and he's in the back there. Kathy Streeter, who's also not here, is the 27th. Oh, Kathy, happy birthday on Zoom. And Bill Nebo, I didn't see Bill. Bill's on Zoom also. His is November 29th. So that's our birthdays. So I want to sing happy birthday to yourself. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Okay, when we have anniversaries of marriage, the first two are not here. They might be on Zoom. Christian Chakwuma is 20 years. Lynn Seppala, 42 years. David Rounds is here. He's 43 years. And also Jack Mills is here, 63 years. Jack, congratulations.
The wrong guitar. No, but that's what I'm saying.
Congratulations, everybody.
You know, I did not realize that guitars sing. It's a baritone guitar. I love that. Okay. All right. So I love this watch because luckily for me, one of my fellow Rotarians showed me how to turn off my ringer, but it still identifies who's trying to call me. And Mike Thompson just tried to get me to Oh, sound check. I see. I see. I'm going to have to think about that. That might require some attention needs to be given to that. I passed the test. Oh, right. Okay. All right. Announcements. I would like to get the microphone to our guest in the back that has so graciously joined our club today with some delicious beverages for us to try. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself and the wine we have today.
Hi. Hello. Hi, everybody. So I'm Robin Replogel. I wanted to thank Sheila for inviting myself and Fenestra Winery out here. And I want to thank all of you for being so welcoming. What a great group of people you guys are. Real quick, Fenestra has been a winery here in Livermore since 1976. We are the third oldest winery, one of the original 5 wineries in Livermore, so we're very proud of that. Our building where we are situated on Vallecillos has been here since 1889, and it started out as a winery by George and Christina True, some German immigrants, and it's gone through some machinations. I've had some awesome conversations with people here today who have been going to Fenestra since I think before I was part of the family. So that's pretty and lot 9. And I've been there. I've been with the family since 1999. So as my mother-in-law said, she didn't lose a son, she gained a worker at the time. At the time, I thought she was joking around, and here I am still with the winery and the son. So Fenestra, we have beautiful grounds, wonderful relaxed area for elevated tastings. Today I brought out our Thatcher Bay Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a wonderful cab, very approachable right now, very drinkable, and also a blend wine, True White, which is a blend of 3 different varietals. And it is actually, the label is made in the kind of to look like the periodic table. And that's because Lanny, my father-in-law, was a professor of chemistry at San Jose State in his first career. So a lot of our wine labels have sort of a nod to kind of the chemistry background, and it works with the Livermore labs, etc.
Oh, and our club, of course.
Yeah. So I hope everybody got a card for 2 free tastings. We'd love to see you guys out there. I'm hoping to start looking into joining the Rotary because you guys are so much fun. And one last shameless plug, we're open from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 4:30. We also do a lot of private events or private tastings. So if you have a small need or a big need, we are the location for you. So
Fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Robin. And the wine is delicious. Okay, let's get started with our announcements. All right, if we could get a microphone over to Loretta.
Hello, Rotarians. So keeping with our theme of helping Rotarians or working with other Rotarians, depending on how you like to look at it, we might remember that in September, we were at the stand down and over in Pleasanton. And then in October, we were part of the chili cook-off, which is our good friends in the morning. And now we're grouping together with Pleasanton, Dublin, and anybody else who comes in for Area 4. That's our area. against Kids Against Hunger food packing. Many of you have done this before. You know what it is. It's a pay to play. So you have to go to the website. And I just checked. There are 30 registered Rotarians, and I'm not sure any of them are from the best Rotarian group. But there are 20 slots still available. But I'm pretty sure that if, you know, we fill up those and you show up anyway, we can sneak you in. So again, that's this Saturday from 10 to 11:30. It's on Quarry Street. There it is, 1258 Quarry Lane. And you can go to Kids Against Hunger Pleasanton website and you can go ahead and register there. Any questions about this great event? It's a lot of fun. They're going to feed you lunch afterwards. It's only an hour and a half of packing with your best friends. And anybody who's done this before, you know, you're kind of an assembly line, and it can go really fast.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Loretta. Appreciate that. And I apologize for the late notice. Loretta and I are going to look into the district, how we she slipped off their email chain. So this probably should have gotten to her a while ago, but Loretta, I'm sorry about that. We'll look into that and make sure you get that stuff. Bob.
Okay, the announcement for the crab feed. I'm going to do a second sneak in. There is no crab feed meeting this week. It'll be the following week.
Oh, it is.
But I wanted to announce Quantichem Burn Children Fund just received from the Packard Foundation a grant for $254,000.
Oh my Lord.
So it tells you what the Packard Foundation thinks about what Quantichem does in Central and South America.
That's incredible. Oh my goodness. They're an amazing organization. I know of them through Taylor Family Foundation. They're great. Go ahead.
Sheila, following up what Bob said, it's actually for the burn registry, the International Burn Registry that the WHO has asked them to develop. So that's really exciting, isn't it, Bob?
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I brought the hat for you, Bob, to help promote I'll wear it next week. It looks better on Mark, but you know, no. Okay. You wear them so well. Okay. This Rotary Foundation dinner, you should have all gotten this email. Just a reminder. Speaker Jennifer Jones. It's going to be at Scott's Seafood in Oakland. I think you can still get in. No, it's full. Oh, you can attend it in Zoom. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So Zoom. Okay. Now we have, and I apologize, Inner Wheel Club of Livermore. Excuse me. They are hosting a movie night, and we'll get this slide out, Paul, to all the club. Excuse me. Sorry. Movie night at Vine Cinema. The holdovers, I think this is going to be a good one. Anyway, all the information's on there. November 27th, $25, includes a small popcorn and soda. We've supported this type of thing before as a group, so please consider it. It's a great fundraiser, and the Inner Wheel does amazing things for us and our community. So let's support them. Okay. Next. Oh, okay. You know, I was gonna, because, you know, Mike jumped right out there and was going to help me with this. But, you know, there's a couple other people in here that shared some amazing information with me that just touched my heart. And I would be remiss in not recognizing them for the beautiful photos they shared with me.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know, maybe. I was just so touched. Oh, you too. I was so touched, and they were so gorgeous of your grandchildren. Adorable.
Hard to believe that they're mine, huh?
I know. I don't know. You could not be old enough to have grandchildren that are 4 and 6. But I'm just wondering, all that could somehow, some way, that photo do something amazing for our club.
They're worth a lot more than I'm going to give.
That's good to hear.
I'll be happy to give $50 to the club.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
And does this mean that since I've already been fined and it's after the event that I don't get fined for the car I got?
Oh, You know, we could save that for another day if you'd like.
Sure, happy to.
Okay, so I will be glad to call on you another day. Roland, did you have something to share for me? Perfect.
Okay, get excited with me. The last 3 weeks has been watch time. The baby was born 12 days ago. My wife's been away forever. That's why I am so lost in my life. But was born was Esther Pamela, who's my wife, Ellingson. Our fifth grandchild. She's a beautiful little girl. First girl. So excited. It's worth $100 to me for the president, whatever. And I already owe you $250, so I owe you $350. And I love you guys. I love the club. And thanks for my little granddaughter.
Oh, thank you. And congratulations. Oh, that is awesome. One quick thing I wanted to mention, and you know what? I grabbed my agenda, but I forgot. Brian Mayhall wanted to say thank you for the lovely card. He did fall and break his wrist, but he said that was minor. What he's been fighting is a blood infection. And so he went to the hospital, and I guess he's gotten transfusion, and he's on the road to recovery, and he hopes to be back soon, but he wanted to extend his sincere thank you for thinking of him. That really meant a lot from all of you. So just know those cards and thoughts really do make a difference. So thank you all so much for that. All right. Okay, next week. So next week we have our own J.R. Romero and the changing nature of auto body, which I am sure it's come a long way from bubblegum and baling wire. So I bet you it's going to be very serious. Oh, we have one more. Tom. Yes, Mike.
I just want to let you all know my brother's not here today. He got back from a week in New York and came down with COVID. So if any of you have not had COVID, 840 Mendenhall Drive, knock on the door.
Or we can just call and hang up. There's another thought. Yes. Oh, yes, sir.
Just want to announce to the club that I probably won't be here next week. So I need someone to take care of the attendance sheet. I'm looking for a hand. Okay. Thank you, Debbie.
Aw, all right. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thank you for helping one another. Okay. So we are now ready to introduce, unless we have any other announcements, our speaker. Okay. Could we please have Kim Grudel appear to introduce our speaker?
Thank you. Right, Madam President, fellow Rotarians and guests, it's my honor and privilege to welcome to hear from Julie Moore. From Fremont Bank. She's been 8 years with Fremont Bank doing community outreach and overseeing the bank's giving programs. She oversees approximately $2.5 million in annual giving through grants and scholarships. She works to connect nonprofits to resources and each other to have a greater impact on our local communities. Prior to Fremont Bank, she spent 15 years in the corporate giving sector, including time at Lamb Research, Applied Materials, and Silicon Valley Community Foundation. Prior to transitioning to the corporate sector, Julie was a high school math teacher in Fremont. She's a commissioner for the City of Fremont Human Relations Commission since May of 2015. Please welcome Julie Moore.
Thanks, Kim, and thank you, Rotarians, for welcoming me so with open arms here to this event. And I'm happy to share some information about Fremont Bank's community outreach services. I am going to start with a little bit of a caveat. As you heard my background, I don't have a banking background. So banking questions, Kimberly's your girl. I know a little bit, but I'm not. Let's say I'm not officially allowed to speak about banking. So again, thank you for having me here. Am I controlling slides? Okay, perfect. Okay. Either way. So first of all, I just wanted to talk about Fremont Bank and our kind of an overview of our giving here. We are really invested as a bank to improving the lives of Bay Area residents. That's fundamental to our banking services as well as our community outreach. It's all one thing. It's all together. So just some quick numbers. One of the things I'm most proud of, and one of the things, as you heard, I worked in the corporate sector. I worked at multinational companies. I did community outreach and, giving in, South Korea and, all over the world, but I didn't know my grantees, right? So I didn't know anything. So one of the reasons that brought me to Fremont Bank is I know almost every one of our grantees. I can walk up to them. I run into them in the grocery store. I run into them all over the place because that's very important to Fremont Bank is relationships and knowing our grantees. So one of the things that also brought me there is the bank dedicates 5% of our pre-tax earnings for charitable purposes. Now, that is a lot. Most companies, 1% is a huge stretch. So 5%. And this is something that the board votes on regularly. And it's not even a question. They're just like, okay, yeah, they just kind of, they know it's built into the DNA of the bank. So 5%, so that's a lot. And that's when we say it's set aside for charitable purposes, we don't always spend the 5% in the year it's earned. Sometimes we spend more than the 5%. And sometimes we put some away to do maybe a bigger, more impactful grant. So you can't kind of judge what our, how much we made in a year by how much we gave away. It's kind of a ballpark figure, but it's all set aside, and I'll talk about how it's set aside in a little bit. The history of giving. So if you can see, so I gotta kind of put my glasses on here. Okay, 33.6 million since 1997. Now, I've been doing this kind of work for a long time, and in 1997, companies and banks, didn't really do this, corporate investment was kind of, just starting. People were learning how to do it. 1997, and I'll talk about the foundation was started, but even before that, when the bank has been giving back, but I only have records that go back to 97 because that's when the foundation started. So it's probably much more than 33 million. So, and that's since 2022 because we don't have our 2023 numbers finalized. So it's a big amount of money. And that is all going to be staying local here. And then we also, there's, we've done over 4,000 grants of all different sizes. So throughout that. But what I want to show you is the map. The map's kind of important. So Fremont Bank, this is our area. So all of our money, well, okay, I have to tell you, there's a little sneaky Carmel branch down there that's not on here. All of our money stays local. That not just our contribution money, but all of our money, the money, our employees are all local. So they live here, they spend here. We don't have a CEO in New York. He's local. He lives here. He spends here. So all of our money stays local. And also, it's also invested back into the community. So not just the dollars, the corporate giving dollars, but the bank's dollars. So through small business loans and mortgages and all that. So we're really focused on the Bay Area. We're so very local. So you can see kind of where we are. Alameda County is kind of where we started. Obviously, Fremont Bank, our headquarters is in Fremont. It's where we got started, but we do serve all this. And so my role is actually, I cover this whole area. So I get traveling a lot, but it's a big footprint, but key is everything stays here. All of our dollars, all of our investments, our community investments, all of our investments stay local, which is part of being a community bank. We're here. So or you want to, I don't know which button moves it. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So I want to go back to the beginning here. So the bank was founded in 1964 by Morris Hyman. And when he founded the bank, what he did is he went out and listened. So Fremont was just becoming a city at this point. And he went around and he was, and if, the geography of Fremont, right, is kind of halfway between, San Jose and Oakland. It really was the train stop between San Jose and Oakland. So a lot of people lived there and then commuted to their jobs. It was meant to be a bedroom community. And he listened. And what did the people needed? The people needed small business loans to open those small businesses to support the people living there. And they needed mortgages. So Fremont Bank was started with small business loans and mortgages, when, because that's what the need was. And he really went and listened out. And then what he also did is he listened to what the communities needed. So he also worked with the city. He was instrumental in some major parks in Fremont when Fremont was just getting started as a city, because he knew those things were vital to Fremont being a really healthy and robust city. So listening is key. And what you'll see is, look at the bullets are the same for when the Fremont Bank Foundation was created in 1994, which is actually pretty early for corporate foundations. So very, very thoughtful. So when they founded when they created the foundation in 1994, same principles. It's very relationship based. Our banking is very relationship based. We want to know individually what your needs are. We want to listen to your needs, whether it's banking, and then also with our funding. It's about the relationship, right? We want to know who you are, what your needs are. And one of the things, kind of going back to the banking, I often get asked if we have any special programs or special accounts for nonprofits. And honestly, we don't, because every situation is different. And technically nonprofits are small businesses. So we look at what their situation is and see what their needs are and see what the right fit is. We don't put them in a box. We don't say, okay, you're a nonprofit, boom, that's what you get. And it may not be what they need. So we really work to listen. Kimberly's here in the Livermore branch. So it's that relationship thing. And that's the same way we look at when we do our funding, is relationship based. We want to know you. And that's why my whole being hyper local here, where we get to really know our grantees and know the work that they're doing. So that's really important, fundamental to the bank is knowing that. And again, the dollars stay local. So yeah, good, thanks. And as I said, 5% of pre-tax earnings gets set aside for charitable purposes in two different ways. So the first one is sponsorships, and those are dollars that actually come from the bank. So so because they come from the bank, we can go to tables, we can get a table, we can go to events, we can get, kind of the perks of those. And, really we want to have a chance to be in the community and sponsor that. We sponsor about 100 events throughout our footprint a year. I can't say I go to all of them. I go to about 50 to 75 of them. But it's a lot. Fremont Bank is out there. So I mean, if you've gone to nonprofit fundraisers, it's more than likely you probably saw a Fremont Bank ad or a Fremont Bank banner. And it's because we really want to be in the community and meeting the people in the community and finding out what the needs are and connecting. So that's what those dollars that are set aside that go to the Fremont Bank. I get a little budget, on the Fremont Bank side for the sponsorships. So really, again, it's about connecting. It's about relationships. So those organizations we know, and that's the way we would fund an organization to really raise the money that they need to do the work that to do their work, right? So everybody needs general operating, keep the lights on, whatever it is. So fundraisers are really kind of around, we want to support something that's going to help an organization to raise a lot of money to help do the work and further their mission. So that's how we do our sponsorships. And we have a committee that oversees all those and kind of, commits, because I'd love to say we can sponsor everything, but honestly, we can't unless, we happen to make more money, and then we'd have more money to spend. So anyway, that's job security for me, right? And the other way we and this is how we make big investments into the community, is through the foundation. So the larger portion of the money is set aside into the foundation. And this is where we really look at our relationship with nonprofits. We go out and listen. We go back to the beginning, just like Morris Hyman used to do. We talk to nonprofits. We listen. What is the need? What is their priority? How is that going to help them to move forward? And the foundation does a majority of one-time capacity building grants. So that's the thing, what is that key thing that organization is going to need to move forward, to be better, to be more efficient, to be able to do their work? So if you can go ahead and do that. So what I have up here is some examples of some foundation grants, recent foundation grants that are hyper-local to, that probably are relevant to this Rotary Club. Now, this is obviously not all that we've done, but just hyper-local. So Open Heart Kitchen, the Vineyard 2.0, well, I know they're looking for a new name. It's going to open soon. So that project, we, you know, from the foundation, we were able to give a pretty sizable grant. That's a very big grant for us, actually. This one, okay, the second one is, you know, you might want to read the Independent tomorrow because there's going to be a little article about it. This one's just happened, is Access Community Health. We're give $100,000 for the new 2nd Street Health Clinic, which is much needed. So so we're very excited about that. One of the things we do invest a lot in is healthcare. We know it's vital for all of our communities. Definitely healthcare centers all throughout our footprint, we do support. The Quest Science Center, if you've been downtown Livermore and there's that beautiful sunshade that you can't do the science projects in the middle of summer without it. Fremont Bank Foundation helped with $30,000 to put that up in downtown. You know, so excited about community spaces. We really like to support community spaces where people can gather and meet with one another. Tri-Valley Nonprofit Alliance, I know Kathy's here. We were able to help them with some security upgrades. And not only did we give them some money, we were able to actually have our security guys go out and kind of take a look and figure out what maybe the needs are, because I'm not a security expert. Kathy's going to say she's not a security expert. So, you know, having somebody to do that, you know, versus having to hire somebody and pay somebody to kind of do the check, we were able to have our folks, and they were also able to donate some cameras and stuff to help defray the cost. So we were able to help them support that, to help make that center more safe for the people working there, and just, you know, kind of the environment around it. So they have those security upgrades. The Spark Theater that is out at Darcy, Kent, I believe. We were able to, over a couple of years, give them some funds for that beautiful outdoor stage and the sound equipment so you can hear the actors. And then one thing we do every year, and this actually just kind of got approved, and we were just now communicating with the nonprofits, is we give $5,000 to multiple organizations throughout our footprint for the holidays, because we know the need is greater. And these are usually food programs, feeding people, because we know the need is greater during the holidays. So this year we're doing 32 organizations throughout our footprint, each get $5,000 for a total of $160,000, because we know that this time of year is when the need is greatest. The organizations are stretched the thinnest, and they, you know, so, you know, it's just kind of a 5,000, do what you need to do to help the folks that are there. So these are the kinds of things we do all the time and throughout our footprint. So this is just a sampling of local here. But we're out there listening. There's a couple big projects you're probably familiar with. I'm not going to name them, that we're talking with those organizations to see, you know, how we can partner with them and how we can, you know, work to help make an impact to make those investments successful. So I know there's a couple big ones coming up in the area, so we're working on those as well. And once they're approved, we can, you know, obviously announce them. We try to get the word out as much as possible. But so that's kind of, you know, what we do in a nutshell. So that's all the information I have. So I do have, you know, I think we have time for questions. I went pretty quick. But again, I just want to, before we do questions, I just want to reiterate the relationship piece. I do get a lot of people just cold call me, say, oh, I saw you know, gave them, you know, $100,000, you know, can we get money? And it's like, who are you? You know, so it's there's a relationship there. So, and sometimes it's because somebody that works at the bank knows this organization and they can, you know, recommend, they know the leadership. Sometimes, a lot of times it's clients, they come in through the bank, you know, and then we get to know them. We get to know the people that come in and all that kind of stuff. So we start that relationship that way. Not always, but, you know, there's that connection. So again, it's really about relationships, and that's even how our banking works, right? So with our nonprofits, we look at what their needs are and try to figure out what the best solutions that we have to fit that. And so we work with almost 550 nonprofits throughout our footprint, to really figure out what their needs are and to support them and what they need banking wise, as well as donation and grant wise. So, okay, so questions?
Thank you very much, Julie. I'm happy to say I'm a customer of your bank.
Thank you.
For some years now. I don't believe you have, but I'd like to request you bring to your committee to consider a donation to our rodeo parade, which I think would be a good thing for the bank too, and our crab feed, which is also big. Maybe 5K each or 2,500. Please, if you would consider that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
We have a process, and I'll explain that. And I can explain what So, and I thought our bank did actually sponsor those in the past, but it's actually sponsored through a different group. But we're all the same bank. Exactly, and that's how you got it. That's how it got sponsored before. So we, I have it's all my personal money, but my department has this pot of money. We also, a lot of things go through our marketing department as well. Things like parades. We don't do parades because it's not that fundraiser where people can go. We're really looking at galas, golf tournaments, things where people can connect and network. From my group, there are other groups though. Like I believe our marketing team did support the. It may have been both. I'm not sure, but I know they did the parade or the parade at least. So yeah. So, but yes, those are the kinds of things that you can bring. If you're not sure, you can bring it to Kimberly, and then Kimberly can either bring it to me, and then we farm it through how our internals, because you don't need to know where it's coming from. And yeah, we are. It's my job. Yeah. So, I mean, there's ways to do it, but we do have an online process for, the official requests as well too.
Just a clarification on what Mark was saying. There is a 501c charitable foundation for the Rotary Foundation. If it's not to the club, maybe you need to think about contributing to the foundation.
It has to fit how we fund, right? So we can think about it. It has to, but we don't. And I hate to say this because we do know a lot of Rotaries. There's a lot of Rotaries in our footprint. We don't fund from our foundation pass-throughs that are just going to grant to other people. We want the money to go straight from us to those people. And probably most of the people that you fund, we probably fund too. So, but that's one of our foundation kind of bylaws is, so we have to follow our rules as well. But if there's something that the Rotary Foundation is working on that's local, we can look at, if you're giving, we're giving, that kind of thing. We can partner on those types of things. So we do have some rules and regulations on what we can give. You saw those were one-time capacity type building grants. So it's really around building the capacity in those nonprofits.
Thank you so much. This is, Julie, it's been so informative. And it's funny how we don't realize how local banks, how much they give back to our community. And without that, there's so many projects in this community that would not ever come to be. So we really appreciate that. And I know Kimberly's working with our team on some things for Rotary. My question is, do you do things with schools? I didn't really see anything up there with schools. Is it particular, and it sounds like it has to be an actual project, maybe buying books or so you do things with schools, but it needs to be specific.
Yeah. So the way we work with schools is we work through the school districts and the local district-wide education foundations. So the reason for that is because they can prioritize. There's so many schools in our footprint, and we don't know where the what the priorities are, where the needs are. So we look to the school districts and the education foundations. We've struggled a little bit getting connected. If you have connections here, okay. Because that's been a little bit of our challenge in Livermore specifically. So again, with schools, like right now I'm talking to a school district who their fourth graders need Chromebooks in order to do their state testing. Their Chromebooks are falling apart, like keys are falling off and stuff. So we're looking at trying to get them some Chromebooks so that they can do the mandatory state testing, type thing. So we do actually, computers are a lot of things that school districts will ask for, but it really depends on, and that's why I struggle because I never give you like an example of exactly what we might be able to fund because it depends on what the need is, right? So you saw there's a variety of things we can fund. It really, if the school district has a priority for, something else, we just funded equipment to start a robotics STEM specialized course for low income. There's no Title I schools anymore. There's different naming for it. Schools, so they can look at math and science differently and learn it through a coding lens. So that was the priority for that school district. So again, it's the relationship. We work with them. We ask them, what do you need? And then we figure out if it's something we can do.
Reach out to Kimberly.
Perfect.
Yes.
So I'm familiar with other companies in the area who really help nonprofits by giving their employees time off, encouraging their employees to be volunteers. Do you have any programs like that?
We are working on launching one through our corporate ambassadors. We have a little bit of challenge that maybe like a high-tech company may not have, is we have to have people in our branches to serve our clients. They can't leave. And also, we're FDIC governed, right? So there's a lot of rules and regulations about you have to have certain people in line to do wires and all sorts of stuff. So, as much as we would like to have, time off for people to go volunteer, it's a little bit of a challenge for us. So that's why we're really trying to work on formalizing it. We always do have pockets here and there. We do tend to do things on the weekends though. So this weekend we have it's not quite a volunteer, but we have a ride that Fremont Bank is organizing that is actually benefiting 2 different organizations. There's the American Diabetes Association and the ALS Association. I think it's association, not foundation. So a bunch of Fremont Bank employees have been raising money, and then they're going to do a bike ride this weekend. But again, weekdays are a little challenging. So, we have to, but during the weekends, we do try to organize different events.
Okay. And again, thank you so much. Just enlightening all of us. I love all the information, and Kim's going to get pelleted with questions. So to thank you, one of our members from JMC Cellars, Jessica, she donated some beautiful wine, and we'd like to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's my heart.
For presenting today. We truly appreciate it. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And Fremont Bank is such a part of our community, and thank you for sharing all that information with us. You bet. Okay. So I got a couple. Yeah, let's give her another round of applause. I know there's several of us in the room are going, we're thinking. Okay, 2 quick things, please. We had our board meeting. Well, first of all, let me jump over to one quick thing. Jackie from Alden Lane Nursery would like to have a little social for the holidays, but because of her schedule, the last week of November would work so much better for her. So what do you all think about doing a little social? Maybe we bring wine, bring a bottle of wine or a snack, and we do it at Jackie's place. How does that sound? That would be the 29th. 5:30? Okay. We're getting this social thing down. They're good. We're good. But Jackie's already got her place decorated. I did a little shopping already. It's gorgeous. So I'm thinking 5:30 to 7:30. If you come a little early, you can shop. I'm going early, of course. Okay. Pardon? The 29th. And we already have a speaker and everything that day. So maybe down the road, we may change. I think we're looking at changing and having an evening meeting. But we have speakers already, and it's just kind of chaotic to change that for our speaker coordinator because he knows where I live. The last thing, at our board meeting, we were presented with a opportunity and that I was, what would you say, I was authorized, thank you, I love that word, to approve, and this would be something that would come before the club, but LARPD has offered this opportunity to us to use the facility for free. In turn, that money would be like a sponsorship for us. And in turn, and that's approximately $10,000. Does that sound about right? $10,000. We get to meet here for free. And in turn, we would like use their name on our outreach material. And I think one other thing was maybe a table at the crab feed. And that's it. That's all they want. So I know that there's possibly some other locations that have been considered, and out of due respect, I don't want to just say, boom, let's do this, because I don't want to take that away from people that have did some work on getting possible other venues for us to visit. We did say we were going to continue to look, but that is an option on the table, which could potentially save you all money. So, yeah, Mark, did you have something to add? Oh, say that, please.
So, we did say that we were going to make sure that people had a chance. So if you have a venue, you are in touch with them, you want to coordinate that, let's get that on the list here in the next few meetings so that we can go visit, see what the club thinks. Then we'll bring it back, and then the overall club will make the call on where we're going to be.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as lunch and stuff, we can talk about that later. You know, it could be, if you want to stick with the $5 sandwiches, maybe once a month have hot food that Mike Thompson can coordinate, but that's something we can decide later. But I just wanted to make you aware of that. And then also too, just so you know, the reason for the tablecloths, it is a protocol for LARPD. So I think Sonia's going to whip out those blue ones. We're going to see if we can find those. So it's just because we're eating at the tables and out of respect. So again, I want to thank you all very much. And we've got a number. And while we're getting the number out,
pull out your tickets.
Pull out your tickets. Don't
last
forget,
digit is a 3. Second to last digit is a 0. Any potentials out there?
Is it me?
Just one? Come on. Third to last is a 6.
This is why I love my club.
5, 6, and
Okay,
3.
ladies and gentlemen, don't forget JR next week. And we're here again. Have a wonderful afternoon.
All right, Zoomers. Well, they've wrapped it up in the room, so I'll go ahead and close the meeting for us. Good to see everybody on Zoom.
Thank you, Pat. Have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.